Okay, so now we want to be able to create an order from the place order screen. So in the front end here, we're going to create a new constants file called order constants. And let's create, let's say export const, and this is going to be order underscore create underscore request order create underscore request, and then let's copy this down. So we want success and fail. Okay, let's save that. Now we want our reducer, so let's create a new file called order reducer.js. And from here, obviously we want to create an order create reducer. But let's go ahead and import first our constants. All right, so bring those in, save that, and then let's export const order create reducer. Oh, you know what? We need to call this reducers, this file name. So let's rename this to plural reducers. But this is going to be order create reducer, and let's pass in our state. So state is just going to be an empty object, and pass in an action. And then let's evaluate action.type. And let's add our case for order create request. And in that case, we want to return loading true. And let's add our default here as well before I forget. So default is just going to return state. Okay, then we have our case for order success or create success. And what we're going to do there is return loading false, and then we're going to return a success value of true. And also order is going to be the action dot payload. Okay, now if it fails, let's say case order create fail, then we're going to return to our state loading false and the error action dot payload. All right, so that's our order create reducer. We have to bring that into our store. So let's bring it in up here. We'll say import from /reducers/order reducers. We want to bring in order create reducer. Let's add that down here. This is going to be called order create. Set that to order create reducer. All right, so we'll save that. Don't worry about that yet. So now we have that in our state. So let's go back to our place order screen, which is right here. So in our place order screen, we're gonna, actually we need to create our action, that's right. So let's create a new file called order actions.js. And in order actions, we want a create order action. So let's import our constants. Okay, and then let's export. Actually, let's just copy from let's see, let's copy from user actions, because we're going to need our tokens. So I'm going to copy this update user profile, and let's paste that in here. So this is going to be called create order, and it's going to get passed in an order. We want dispatch and get state, and then here let's change this, actually this, and this to order underscore create. So we dispatch the request, and then here we're going to get our user info. We're going to have our headers with content type and authorization set to our token. Here we're going to make a post request to API/orders, and we're going to pass in the order object. And then we have our success. We're going to pass the data as the payload, which is the newly created order. If it fails, we'll get the message. All right, so we'll save that. Now let's bring that action into our place order. So import create order from /actions/order actions. Now where we want to call this is going to be in the place order handler, which is right here. So let's see, did we bring in our dispatch or create our dispatch? No, we didn't. So let's go up here and say const dispatch equals use dispatch. And let's say dispatch create order. And what we want to pass in is an object with a whole bunch of stuff. And this stuff all comes from our cart. So the order items is going to come from our cart items. And then the shipping address, will come from cart.shipping address. We want the payment method. We want the items price, cart.items price. And we also want, so items price, we want shipping price. We want tax price. And we want total price. All right. And let's just check this. So Axios is not defined in order actions. That's right, we didn't define that. So in order actions up at the top, let's just make sure that we import Axios from Axios. And the next thing we want to do here is bring in our order create state, because once we dispatch create order, it's going to send everything down through the state, and we need to grab that. So let's we'll put this right above the place order handler. So let's say const order create and set that to use selector. And let's pass in our arrow function, and we want to get from the state the order create. And what we want to pull from that is going to be the order itself, the success value, and a possible error. So that's going to come from order create. Now, this success here, if this is true, that means that everything went through and we're ready to be redirected. So we need to bring in use effect. And we'll go right under here, right above the place order handler, and let's say use effect. And I want to just check here. So if success, that means everything went okay. So then we want to push. So we'll say history.push. And we want to go to /order/ and then the order._ID, which is going to come from here. Now, as far as dependencies here, We have history and then success. And actually, it's going to ask us, it's going to whine about us putting order ID in there, which isn't going to exist until we actually submit and create. So I'm just going to disable this line. Actually, you'll see if I save this, we're going to get a warning down here. Oh, first of all, we have to pass in history as a prop. And oh, so it's not complaining. Oh, it's because this we didn't make this a variable. But once I save that, it's going to say that we need to add that as a dependency, although it doesn't exist yet. So what I'm going to do for this is disable that line. So I can copy this right here, ESLint disable next line, so that it doesn't complain about it. And I'm going to put that right here. And then it should stop complaining. Error is assigned but never used. Yeah, so the error, this error that we're getting, if there is one, I'm going to put that down here above the button. So we have our list group item with the button in it. I'm going to go right above it. And I'm going to put in here a list group dot item. And in here I want to check for the error. If there is one, then let's show a message component with a variant of danger. And we want to put whatever that error is in there. Okay, we should be good. Now I think we're ready to try and place an order. So just to kind of reiterate what's going to happen here, we have our place order screen. Let's make sure it's showing good. And I just want to go back and select our payment method. So everything is displaying here, and then when we click this button, it's going to fire off this handler, which is then going to dispatch create order and pass in all these items that are currently in our cart. And then that, I want to go to order actions. That create order is going to get fired off. It's going to get order passed in. It's going to dispatch create request and set loading to true. We're going to pass in our token in the headers and make our request. If it's successful, we'll pass that data down through the state into the order state, and we'll get it here. And if it's successful, we'll also get success. So if it's successful, then this is gonna run, and it's gonna push us to the order ID, the order screen, which we haven't created yet. So let's see if that actually happens. So I'm gonna go ahead and click place order, and over here you can see order create request, order create success, and we get success true, and we get order, and that should now be in our database. And notice the URL that we're pushed to, it's order / and then the order ID. So I just want to check my database. So I'm going to go to Compass and just I'm going to go to View, Reload Data. And now we should have an orders collection. And if we check it out, there's our order. It's connected to a user. So whatever user was logged in, we have our order items. So we have the AirPods and the mouse and the iPhone. So quite an order. And we have the tax price, the shipping price, the shipping address, payment method is PayPal. Good. So that's the order. Now, it hasn't been paid yet. This order screen here is going to look similar to the place order screen, but it's going to have a button to actually pay. And once it's paid, it'll show that it's paid. It'll also have an area that shows if it's been delivered or not. And the admin will be able to come in and set it to delivered, and the user should be able to keep coming back to this order page to check on it, and the orders will display in the user's profile. So we still have quite a bit to do here, but at least we can go through, we can add to the cart, we can go through the whole process, add our shipping, choose our payment method, and create an order. So in the next video, What are we going to do in the next video? So in the next one, let's work on this. We want this order screen to show, but we need to get the order from the database. So this ID here, we want to use that to make a request to the back end to fetch the order and display it here. Okay, and then a little later on, we'll add the PayPal button so that we can actually pay.